As a longtime player of Final Fantasy XIV, the most frequent thing people tell me when I tell them to try the game, besides, "Whoa, why are you in my house? I don't know you," is that they just don't have the time to get into it, and I can see their point. It can take easily 400 or 500 hours at this point to reach the game's current content when starting from the beginning, and that can be agonizing if you're not interested in the story or you just want to get to the raidy bits that all the cool kids are doing. While it may not have been specifically inspired by Final Fantasy XIV, developer Chief Rebel clearly saw the same problem, but decided on a follow-through. What if there was a game that let you just get right to the good part? Enter Fellowship, a multiplayer dungeon crawler that blends MOBA-inspired heroes with an MMORPG playstyle, letting players pick their character and go right into dungeon crawling and leaderboard climbing. I got to team up with a few members of the game's development team and take it for a test drive recently, and while the game is looking a bit rough aesthetically, which, given that it was still in beta, is understandable, I think they're on the right track to deliver a title that can really break the mold. Fellowship takes the typical 3-role structure of DPS, healer, and tank and applies it to each of its heroes, giving players the ability to jump right in as any character, ready to go with the complete feeling skill kit. You get to kick the door right open and start the process of conquering levels and earning better equipment, without the long-winded introduction or downtime that tends to come between party-oriented content in titles like this. The build of the game I jumped into is a bit rough around the edges, unsurprising for a first-time studio even if it's built from industry vets, but it's still managed to prove to me that the team has all the right ideas and components in mind to cater to this audience. I got to try one of the game's newer damage-based characters, the Archer Ilarion, and felt right at home jumping into a dungeon with minimal practice. Obviously, your mileage may vary if you're not an experienced MMO player, but so far the game is delivering on its core of familiar gameplay in a less cumbersome shell. Each dungeon features multiple parts, and the boss fights quickly proved challenging even with the developers filling out my team. Players can fight mini-bosses in between the main ones, and these mini-bosses feature sneak peeks at their leaders' mechanics, giving you the incentive to hunt them down in the open-air spaces of each level. Thankfully, there's still reason to do this even if you're already in the know or grouped up with randoms, as you don't have to completely clear a dungeon, you do have to reach a certain kill percentage in order to make it count. The dungeon I played is in the game's challenge mode, structured to take roughly 30 to 40 minutes, but the game's quick play mode features more linear experiences that are meant to take roughly a third of that and offer less loot. This makes a lot of sense and allows folks without a lot of time to dedicate to the game to still jump in and feel like they're making some progress, though I could see things getting repetitive depending on how much content is available in this mode. The team emphasized that dungeons can scale in difficulty endlessly, just one of many interesting ideas put forth that shows that they're tuned in to what the community they're trying to appeal to is interested in. Notably, the game is intended to be a premium title with an upfront price tag and only cosmetic items available for additional purchase, and the developer expressed that they want to implement seasonal content post-launch if the game succeeds in the way that they're hoping. While I only got what I would consider a small glimpse at what Fellowship has to offer, what is abundantly clear is that this is a game made by people who pay enough attention to know what players really want. Everything we talked about in my session felt not only like this is something Chief Rebel wanted to do, but that it was made to address all the right things that other titles are lacking. Live service is a crowded market that's difficult to carve a space into, but this is one of the most interesting and deserving titles to enter it in a long time, and its early access phase begins tomorrow. Here's hoping we get to see everything this team has in store when the full game arrives next year. Fellowship releases in early access tomorrow, October 16th, on Steam. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our supporters on Patreon for making our coverage possible. Go to patreon.com/noisypixel if you'd like to join them and receive our monthly digital magazine in addition to our eternal thanks. Noisy Pixel is an independent operation working hard to bring you news, reviews, previews, and more. Leave a comment below to start a conversation, come talk nerdy with us in our community Discord, and subscribe to keep up with all of our future content. Now, check out some gameplay.
This is the best you can do. watches over me.
Voice Pixel.